Hello everyone, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We sure are glad you're here today for another Subscriber Sunday recipe. Today's recipe comes to us from Bonnie Groans in Humble, Texas. Now, Bonnie sent us a recipe for a main dish that has a funny name. The name of this chicken dish is Giggle Chicken. You can't really say the name of this dish without laughing. Giggle Chicken. When I opened the envelope and saw that recipe, I thought, where in the world did that name come from? Well, here's the letter that Bonnie sent with her recipe. It says, Tom and Melissa, here's a recipe I thought you all might enjoy cooking for your channel. It's called Chicken Giggle. My friend Barbara has had this recipe in her family for many years. When I had surgery, she made this and brought it to my home to enjoy. Now I want to stop there just a minute. Isn't it wonderful that we can provide food to someone to show them how we feel about them? A psychiatrist probably would have a field day with me saying that. But I just think sharing food shows that you care about someone. All right. She told me her dad was the one who came up with this recipe and made it for their family. She also said her niece would always laugh and giggle when told the name of the casserole. But we really don't know where the name came from. Barbara knows that I'm sending this to you, and she gave her blessing. So, Barbara and Bonnie, we certainly do appreciate that you shared this recipe for Giggle Chicken or Chicken Giggle. In the letter it says Giggle Chicken. On the recipe it says Chicken Giggle. So I don't guess it matters which way. Now, let's go through what we're going to use to make this dish, and then we'll get started cooking. We're going to start with a whole chicken. The recipe that Bonnie sent says that you can cook a whole chicken, cool it, take the skin off, debone it, and chop it up. But I thought if I was going to do a chicken, I might as well just get a rotisserie chicken. So this morning, Melissa and I were at Costco, and I picked up one of their chickens. That just saved me a little time. And hey, what's wrong with that? Not a thing in the world. We're also going to use one 10.5 ounce can of cream of chicken soup and one 10.5 ounce can of cream of mushroom soup. We're also using 4 ounces of sliced mushrooms, and Bonnie says that you can use 4 to 6 ounces. I just got a 4 ounce jar. We're also using a 4 ounce jar of pimentos. Her recipe says you need 1 small onion chopped. Now I've got 2 big bags of Vidalia onions, and this is about the average size of them. There are some that are enormous, but there aren't really any smaller than that. So I'm using that one. And really, you cannot have too much onion in a casserole dish, right?
That's our opinion.
That's our opinion. Then we're going to use 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1.5 cups of chicken broth, and we're going to need a 12 ounce bag of Nacho cheese flavored Doritos. This is a 14.5 ounce bag, and I could not find a 12 ounce bag. So, I'll probably eat a few out of there, and then we'll crunch up the rest of them.
What a sacrifice.
I know. You can thank me later. The last thing we're going to need is some cheese to put on top of our casserole, and she suggested 2 cups of grated cheddar cheese, so that's what we're going to use. Now, the first thing we need to do is prepare our chicken. We're going to have to take the skin off, we're going to have to debone it, and then chop it up, and that's going to take a while. So I'm going to get started on that, and then we will finish the recipe. All right, since we left, we have cut our chicken into pieces, and that is the whole chicken. minus one wing because somebody ate one wing.
I wonder who that would be.
That would be me. We have opened our soup. We have drained the mushrooms and the pimentos.
You chopped up the mushrooms, right?
And I did chop up the mushrooms a little bit. We have chopped our onion. We have taken a few chips out of the Doritos because it said a 12-ounce bag and this was 14. Honestly, I don't think it would hurt a thing to use that whole 14-ounce bag. But the first time I make a recipe, I always try to follow the directions on the recipe as closely as I possibly can because I just want to see what it's like the first time. Then if I want to make adjustments, I can. We've also shredded 2 cups of cheddar cheese. I have preheated the oven to 350 degrees and I have sprayed my 9x13 pan so that it won't stick while it's baking. Okay, we're ready to put everything together. So according to Bonnie's recipe, well, Bonnie and Barbara's recipe, we're just supposed to put everything in a big bowl except the chicken and the Doritos and stir all of that together. So let's make sure all of that soup is out of there. That's going to be the moisture for our casserole. So we definitely want that out. Let's get out our mushroom soup. And again, we want to make sure we get all of it, all the way to the bottom and the corners. Don't waste anything. Okay. Now, we're going to just add in our mushrooms that have been drained. We're going to add in our pimentos. And if you don't get all the juice out of those, that's fine. That's not going to hurt anything. Just, take out as much as you can. Now, this is a lot of onion. Bonnie's recipe says a small onion. This was more like a medium or maybe even on the upper side of a medium. But Melissa and I love onion, so I put it all in there. And I know I just said make it the way it says the first time, but I didn't want to waste that onion. So, all right, and then we go with 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and we're going to do 1 tablespoon of chili powder. Ooh, that's a lot of chili powder, but I bet it's going to be good. Okay. We're going to add in our 2 cups, no, 1.5 cups of chicken broth.
It's 2 cups of cheese.
Yes, 1.5 cups of chicken broth. And we're going to stir that together. Just mix it all together here. I might need to get a whisk. I think I will. Pardon me. I think this will just mix up better if I use a whisk. And I want to get that soup dissolved. I don't want big chunks of that soup in there. So I think this will help mix it up better. Oh yeah, you can already see that it's combining everything together a little better. Now, get all that out of the whisk. Now we're going to add our chicken. Just put that right in. Stir it in. Boy, it smells good.
Sure does.
Yum. Next thing we add is our Doritos. But before we can add those, we have to crunch them up. So we're just going to leave them right in the bag. I probably should have put them in a Ziploc bag just so you could see, but I think.
Go in now?
Huh?
And they do go in now.
Yeah?
Okay.
You don't think they do?
I didn't know.
Oh, I thought maybe I'd messed it up.
No. You don't pour them on top is what I was.
No. It says then add 1 12-ounce bag of Nacho flavored Doritos chips that have been crushed to the mixture and blend well. So I'm just crunching them up really well. Make sure we don't want any big chips in there. Okay. So in that goes. Oops, it's not open all the way, so I don't come up. There we go. Okay. I know that was noisy, but welcome to the kitchen. Now we're going to stir that in. You want to make sure those are stirred in well because you don't want them just being a big clump of chips in your casserole. Make sure they're stirred in. This is a big bowl of chicken casserole.
You're supposed to be giggling somewhere, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Chicken Giggle or Giggle chicken. All right, now I have sprayed my 9x13 pan. So we're just going to add our chicken mixture. And I think this is going to be really full.
It looks delicious.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Reminds me a lot of the Mexican chicken casserole that we have.
Yeah.
Some different ingredients, and that one doesn't have the pimentos and no mushrooms. So there's definitely some differences, but
Yeah.
I guess the Doritos is what we're
I was going to say it's the Doritos that make you think that because that casserole, and that's probably why you asked if they went on top, because I think in that casserole the crunched up Doritos do go on top.
They do.
Okay, so we just want to kind of spread that out, get it down in there. And now, to top it, we're going to use 2 cups of cheese. I'm going to get my spatula back out because I want all that off that spoon. I don't want to waste any of that. Get that all in there. It's good flavor. Actually, I think I'll just use this to kind of smooth it out a little bit. Okay. Now let's put our cheese on top, and we're going to bake this in a preheated 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. Or, it says, or until the cheese is melted and a little brown around the edges. So that's what we'll do.
And do we need to cover it?
It does not need to be covered. In fact, she said do not cover it. Anybody think they know why? Well, that would be because your cheese would stick. If you put something like aluminum foil on it, your cheese would stick to that.
Well, and that would be a shame.
And then you'd lose all that cheese. And my goodness, we don't want to lose that cheese. Okay.
This looks delicious.
She did say that it should be a little wet before you put it in the pan. And if it wasn't wet enough, she said it should not be soupy. But if it wasn't wet enough, you could add a little more chicken broth to it. But I think this was perfect.
Bonnie and Barbara, I got high hopes.
This is your kind of meal, isn't it, baby?
This is my kind of a meal, absolutely.
Melissa loves this kind of stuff. And that is the perfect amount of cheese.
Yes.
So, you don't want it to become a cheese casserole, but you definitely want cheese on all of it. So, when people take a serving, they all get some cheese. All right. It is ready to go in. So, into a 350-degree oven we go for 30 minutes. The chicken Giggle is out of the oven. And let me tell you, it looks delicious and it smells wonderful. So we are ready to take a bite of this and see what it's like. Oh, yum. Babe, I can already tell you're going to love this.
This is going to be one of my favorites, I can already tell.
Yep. I think so. All right. Love the cheese on top of it. Are you going to take the first bite?
Nope, I'm going to wait. I'm going to have it for dinner.
No. And it's really hot.
No. Sure you don't want to wait?
Probably should, but no, I want to bite. But I had better blow on it because It could burn my mouth. There is steam holding off of it. Doesn't that look really good? Look at that.
So good.
Mm.
I think I'm going to need a little sour cream with mine. I know you're not a big sour cream fan, but I think that would be great with sour cream.
I like sour cream in things, but not on top of something. It's hot. That is really good. I like the mushrooms in it. And that cheese is stringy. That is delicious. It's good and moist, but it's not soupy. That's just perfect.
Yeah, you can definitely eat that with a fork.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'd be good served with nachos and queso.
Rice.
Or tortillas and queso.
Some rice.
Yeah, you could put rice with it.
Really good.
A bag of Knorr's rice would be really good with that. That's delicious. All right. Barbara and Bonnie, thank you so much for sharing the recipe. We do appreciate it. If you have not already, we would appreciate you going right below this video and clicking the subscribe button, the little notification bell beside of it, and then the word all. That just subscribes you to our channel. And you could help us get this video shared more often if you would click that thumbs up right below the video. That's just the like button. The more people click it, the more times YouTube will share it. Remember that right below the video, if you'll click on the title where it says Giggle Chicken, that box will expand. That's the description box. Melissa always puts the written recipe there for you, and our contact information and address are right below that recipe. Also, there's a place at the very bottom where you can leave a comment, and we love hearing from you. So feel free to leave us a comment at the bottom below this video. Thank you again for watching. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your recipe. We do appreciate it. We want you to remember that you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day.